Hello, Abnormal Investigations family. Man, tonight was alive like no other, huh? A person picked up offline, offered to become a vampire, and then going through those rituals and all that weird stuff he had to go through, man. We won't be forgetting that one for long. That was a way different encounter than I think what we're used to. That was everybody said it was a great one. Everybody enjoyed it. They said it was one of the best ever. So we plan on doing more of those. I do have more of those that we can do, but man, that was one of those that just really, man, it just really gets to you. It really makes you think. It really made me think. And then the gentleman that come on tonight shared his story with us and the struggle he's having. It was just a wild night. I'm glad he came on though. All right, guys, let's get into this encounter. This one is not going to leave you hanging. It's going to be same thing. It's another crazy one that's out there, but we're getting a lot of them, so times are changing. When I was in high school, I lived on a very small island off the coast of South Korea. I think the name of that is Jeju. It's Jeju. My parents were international teachers. My dad was a math teacher for high school. The island was very beautiful but quiet, infamous in its forests. Not only were they dense, but they also carried a rough history. During World War II and the Korean War, thousands of locals had been hunted and then killed by tyrannical powers of the time. It was truly terrible history. On the people weren't soon to forget. Many believe the forests and surrounding areas are haunted. My dad and I weren't so quick to believe in such ideas, but we did find them exciting. We loved coming and often finding these exciting things. And we would go and we would camp in these areas, designated campsites, or on the beaches with our families. One year, deep in winter, we decided to push our luck and go camping regardless of the cold weather. My dad suggested we camp near an abandoned YMCA center in the middle of the forest on rural Korean island. I thought this was a terrible idea, but we ended up going anyway. When we got there, we found a nice place to camp, set up our tent, and made a small fire. It was probably close to freezing when it started to rain. At the time, I was really enthused and desperately wanted to leave. The combination of the freezing rain, a haunted forest, and nearby abandoned center was really pushing my limits. But nonetheless, we decided to stay. The night was cold, even so, and sounds of nature kept me awake until late, probably around 1 a.m. I don't remember falling asleep, but I do remember my dad shaking me awake early in the morning. I got up quickly, worried something was wrong. But he just wanted to show me something beautiful. The rain had turned to snow. The dense jungle-like forests were blanketed in white, not something you often see since the tropics don't generally get much snow. Though the view was wonderful, I soon dozed back off to sleep. Maybe a few hours later, the worst possible sound you could hear in the woods suddenly shook me awake. Not a scream, a roar, or any ambiguous noise. A sound everyone knows. A car alarm. Why the hell would our car alarm be going off way out here? The only answer seemed to be human tampering, right? Armed with a shovel and a pocket knife, my dad bravely went to check the car and to see who or what was causing it. I was so tired I fell back asleep. As he walked away, "Psst, wake up," my dad said from outside of the tent. Who knows how much later I groggily got up and put all my shoes on. "What is it?" I asked. He told me it wasn't our car. For whatever reason, someone else had parked way out there, probably to check out the abandoned building. When we got there, we found a minivan and a woman sitting by a bucket with a small fire. My dad introduced us. Apparently, they had been talking for some time before he had even woke me up. She was probably the younger side, maybe late 20s, and she definitely wasn't dressed for the weather. Just a sweater and jeans, even the icy, snowy conditions. She introduced herself as a Korean name. I don't remember really what it was exactly, except for the fact that when I told this story later to a Korean friend, he said it meant something like magic witch cat. He said it was a name only really used in fairy tales. Besides the name, she said she also had a black cat wandering the area, like a cliché witch. One thing I found weird was the firewood she used was completely dry. Even though it had rained and snowed all night, she even had a pile of extra dry wood behind her. Strange, but not explicitly supernatural. After she introduced herself and we chatted a bit, she told us some stories, weird and sometimes disturbing. I remember her proudly talking about making a fire to cremate some roadkill in the middle of the city. Super weird stuff. After an hour or two, we decided to pack ourselves and our stuff up and leave. We said our goodbyes and returned to our camp. We packed up and headed back to the car. When we got there, she and her van were gone, but a black cat was sitting prominently in the abandoned building. It had a little red collar on, so it was definitely owned, not a stray. When we looked at it, it almost bowed to us, as if acknowledging us or waving us off. Both my dad and I to this day agree that the cat was more than likely her. And the reason we said this because the red collar that she was wearing was the same as the red lace collar that the witch was wearing. Exactly. And that she was definitely a witch. It was a surreal experience, and it's nice to know that if witches truly are real, we need to be careful because she was so pleasant and so easy to talk to. The cat took off running back into the building, and when it ran back into the building and disappeared, we then heard a lady laughing. We drove away, not caring to look any further at what might be. I think y'all done the right thing by driving away. A lot of people can't do that. Curiosity killed the cat. But yeah, I think you done the right thing. That is a really weird story. I appreciate you sending that in, and from South Korea, so thank you for that. What do you guys think? Do you think she was a witch, or do you think she was just some lady that showed up? Let me know in the comments. Until next time, guys, keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner. And we'll see you Saturday night at 8:30 p.m. for the Boots on the Ground.